Oops, maybe I've put something in the wrong place. Let's see now. Just another cellar, and it looks as if nobody's been here for decades. Anyway, a step closer to the escape. It could do with some repairs. Some parts might still be working, though. This lamp seems to be all right. Ah, someone's a handyman here, and a fan of movies. An age-old baby stroller. Even my dad was pushed in a newer model. Old preserves and jams. It would be risky to taste them. It's empty. What an old shaving mirror. Here's the way ahead, but I must tackle this door first. Old age, but strong. No handle on it. An old bicycle pump. It must belong to this Russian bike. A bushel of dried corn kernels. The father did carpentry, the mother liked sewing. A magnet to pick up the needles, I assume. Bows. Someone liked target shooting. Strong draft is coming from below this door, but no light. This valve can be easily removed. There's no lock on the door. Some security bar should hold it. With a little luck, I can deal with that.
Hello? Speaking. Wonderful. No problem. I'm on my way.
Wait, please. You certainly know how to pull it off, mister. Now let's go. The old man is eagerly waiting for you.
Now, Mr. Hunt.
How do you do, Mr. Stein?
Please. Mr. Hunt, I owe a debt of gratitude for what you have done. You've reconnected my family, and this connection will now last until death.
Is your brother doing all right?
Yes, thank God. We had a long talk on the phone. He's going to come over here after 30 long years. I can't wait to see him again. But tell me, how did you do it?
Oh, I can't take credit for it, really. I've read that your brother works in Washington at an institute. I just called my editor-in-chief in the U.S., and the New York Times easily got in touch with Dr. Frankenstein. Would be hard to hide with his name. I made up a message to him in your name. Hope you don't mind.
How would I? You're not only a magician, but a mind reader as well. I've just mentioned to my wife recently how sad it was that we could never overcome that conflict of ours. What a perfect timing. Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Would you mind telling me the reason for that terrible row?
Of course. The reasons may seem banalities now after 30 years, but we became bitter enemies.
Cherchez la femme?
Just as you say. You know, we enjoyed life a lot, had lots of fun, lots of friends. Our family was quite well off, and we weren't thinking about marriage at the time, but there was a very pretty girl. Oh, she was a perfect beauty. We both fell in love with her.
Did you both know about the other?
One day, Frank told me about his feelings, and I didn't say anything. I decided to step aside and let them be happy.
You must have been loving brothers.
Yes, we were. Frank started to pay more attention to the girl. Mokti seemed to be pleased to come to our parties and join us on our hikes. And then...
I think I can guess.
Well, yes. It turned out that Mokti was attracted to me, and not to Frank. And I made a big mistake. I didn't resist the temptation. This is when our trench warfare started. Then Frank unexpectedly immigrated to America and cut ties with me.
Eventually, did the lady marry you?
Certainly not. She married Frank.
What?
Yes, soon Mokti went after him without letting me know, and stayed there.
A peculiar story. And now your brother will bring his wife with him when he comes to see you? It'll be awkward.
Not the least. Mokti spent 5 years with him, and then she ran away with someone. The same way, suddenly. Frank is living with his third wife now. I wonder if he's learned from his mistakes.
Well, if he's like you, he hasn't learned anything.
What do you mean?
You see, you told me all this, yet the only thing you know about me is that I'm a journalist.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. The same thing happened when I babbled onto that woman. But now I don't mind, you know. If I didn't talk to her that much, I would never see my brother again.
Mr. Stein, once we've happened to meet personally, I would like to ask you a favor, if you don't mind.
I know. Niegesh from the library has told me about it. You're stuck in your investigation, I understand. Well, I believe it wouldn't be fair to hinder your work, so I've already instructed him to make the diary available to you for research.
That is most kind. Thank you, Mr. Stein.
It's only me who has to be thankful. You are free to study the document any time. Just let the librarian know.
Now you've made my day too, Mr. Stein. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure, Mr. Hunt.
What a trick, Mr. Hunt. What an amazing trick!
I wouldn't call it a trick, but a solution. A perfectly human and satisfying approach to avoid bureaucracy, Mr. Niergesh.
Call it whatever you like, but it was clever. I guess you want to see the diary, don't you? I've got it ready for you in a quiet room.
Thank you. Where is it?
Just next door. Take your time. We won't disturb you.
I'm really grateful to you, Mr. Niergesh.
You're most welcome.
This should be the quiet room the librarian talked about. Handsome room. Everything here is about Csokonai, the Hungarian poet. Hello. Please allow me. I'm a great fan of yours. So here is the diary, almost intact. Excellent. The best way is to put it in a clean envelope. Another one. Let's put it in another envelope. The third page is now legible. Careful. Done. Here they all are, and everything clicks into place slowly. Clicks into place. A farmer named Tornios turns up in the college with a meteorite in hope of a reward. He's referred to Elekesh Tot, who's astonished to see it looks like Hatvani's Utrecht stone, which he's been studying in secret. He pays the man and keeps the stone for himself, knowing it's against the rules. But Tornios comes back the next day and blackmails him for more money. By then, Elekesh Tot knows the meteorite is an exact duplicate of the Utrecht stone, with the same large diamond and inclusions inside. Scientifically invaluable. He's afraid that Tornios might talk, and he yields to the blackmail. But they end up in a fight. Tornios grabs the stone and leaves, saying the professor can get it when he has the money. But Elekesh Tot hasn't got money. He borrows small amounts, but people start talking. The creditors become anxious. Finally, his wife sells some jewelry, so Elekesh Tot goes to see Tornios. But arriving at the Grange, he's struck with horror. Everyone's dead. Tornios, his wife and children, the animals. There's blood all around, but no one is wounded. The stone is on the table. Apparently they tried to chop it up. Elekesh Tot suspects the killer was the substance released from the crystal. He takes the stone and tells nobody. But his wife knows about the diamond. While he's away, she calls a goldsmith to help her chop a piece off in the shed. The miasma kills both. Before she dies, she sets the shed on fire. Only the two meteorites remain. Elekesh Tot arrives too late, but now he's certain the miasma kills if the crystal is damaged. His son Laszlo accuses him of the tragedy and decides to leave, saying he wants to study in Cambridge. Elekesh Tot sells everything to support his son's studies in England, but he has his own ideas too. He wants to consult his old professor in Cambridge about the meteorite, so he sends one of the stones with Laszlo to this man. The boy sets off with the stone, but he couldn't care less about Cambridge. He puts the stone on the post and sails to America. Elekesh Tot is stricken with grief when he learns. The meteorite is delivered, but the addressee is no longer alive. After these tragedies, Elekesh Tot gradually falls to pieces. He's always short of money and ends up turning to the bottle. Finally, he sells the second stone for peanuts to a mineral collector. This is the last information about this stone. He dies lonely in poverty. On a chill dawn, his fellow drinkers strike upon his cold body, lying at the side of a ditch.